Hello everyone, and thank you for joining me for a closer look at this beautiful new Ankylosaurus figure by PNSO. Been very excited about this figure because I don't have many Ankylosaurus figures, and it's a bit of a shame because it's a fascinating animal. A lot of figures that tend to stick with the same old tropes of being in an attacking pose or looking quite aggressive and the textures and things like that, so I've been a little bit picky. I am quite picky with my dinosaur toys, but I knew as soon as I removed this one from the box that would be one of my favourite dinosaur figures ever. When I first saw the promotional images of this figure, I thought, wow, they've really gone to town with that. And often figures don't quite live up to the promotional images, but this one does in every way. As you can see, it quite closely matches the artwork on the box. And what PNSO have done is they've decided to depict this animal as quite an active, inquisitive, almost playful looking. In the eye, it's just a plain glossy black blob, but yet the whole posture, the way it's sculpted, manages to make this figure look inquisitive and interested, and the sheer amount of sculptural detail really looks as though this is an animal that's been sculpted from life. They really understand the motions of animals and how they behave, and it's nice to see an Ankylosaurus who had very tiny brains looking quite inquisitive and intelligent, and it's got the sort of docile look which reminds me of a cow, and I like cows, so this suits me down to the ground. The quality of the sculpt is absolutely phenomenal. I was really taken by the different sizes of the scales and how fine they are. The detail really is superb on the head, all different sizes, as there should be. There's no strict regularity here. Can't see any sign of an ear opening, but maybe that'll be tucked away in here somewhere, I'm not too sure. There's a little nostril here. This broad head of Ankylosaurus, possibly used for digging up tubers and unearthing invertebrates and other things like that for Ankylosaurus to fuel this massive gut it had. Beautifully picked out here. Very low slung animals, very close to the ground. And they're sculpted slightly more, not quite crocodilian, but they're along those lines, more uniform scoots on the underside. And I think this is a really nice touch, because if you look at it in profile, they almost look as though they're overlapping. And that is a really nice touch. Got the correct number of toes. The seam lines are well disguised, they're not particularly harsh. In fact, where it's manufactured, where the bottom section fits in, they've used that also to represent a cloaca here. I like the way the tail is raised. It droops a little at the end, which may be unlikely because Ankylosaurus had an incredibly stiff tail, but usually when they're discovered, the tails of Ankylosaurus, it's normally this big, bulbous, defensive, or maybe attacking knob they had on the end. This great, heavy fortification they had, and it was always attached to a fairly straight, heavily ossified handle, as they call it. And I suppose it's quite straight up to that point, so maybe it's just, maybe they were quite flexible up to here, I'm not entirely sure. But either way, I'm not going to worry about that too much. It's beautifully sculpted. Look how gnarly that is. Fantastically textured. And you can see all of these osteoderms with their raised keels. And you can see how the armour is banded, as it was. This is a very up-to-date reconstruction of Ankylosaurus. Now, there's been so many reconstructions, it's an iconic animal. But there's been so little of the material found, and there's been so many different debates about, how the life appearance of this animal. And that's changed over the years. Look at that detail. Absolutely stunning. So this is the most current one, based on a lot of new material. This is the configuration of those osteoderms. You see they've chosen to raise them a little more over the hips. It's a nice touch. So you really do get an overall impression of great heft and power and life. You can almost see and feel it breathing. Just to make out the shoulder blades under the skin, the wrinkles in this tough, thick hide. Must have had terrible trouble with parasites biting them. I wouldn't have been surprised if they liked to wallow in mud. Absolutely beautiful. The way it's banded around the neck. Absolutely stunning figure. So it's a very multi-layered paint job. The paint scheme they've chosen is very pleasing, these lovely colours. So they're very naturalistic colours without appearing too dull. Very, very nice effect. It really is very believable. It's quite a soft figure, so if you did buy this figure as a toy, your little ones probably aren't going to injure themselves too badly with it unless they hit each other with it, because it's got quite a bit of heft. It's quite a fine, big, sturdy figure. Especially if you look at it compared to its papo counterpart here, which is very much more in the attacking trope of Ankylosaurus, and this one's based on more Jurassic Park style Ankylosaurus, so it's a bit dated, it's far narrower, the head's proportionally bigger, and the proportions of this are far more modern and up to date with the current research. I love that gentle cow-like expression. I really do think this is a phenomenal figure to have if you're a dinosaur toy collector. You can't go far wrong with this one, and for the price of it as well, it's really reasonable. And you look at the level of detail and the quality of the paintwork, what you're getting for this, it's definitely worth paying a little bit more and getting a figure of this standard. So I hope you've enjoyed a closer look at Sede the Ankylosaurus here, which is available at Everything Dinosaur. That's where I got mine from, because you always get these lovely fact sheets from Everything Dinosaur, which tell you a little bit more and give you an idea about how large the animal was compared to a human being. And you always get fantastic service from them too. So thank you, Everything Dinosaur. I hope you enjoy watching this video, and I'll see you for the next one.